Hey, what's up guys, this is Scarface95 here reviewing a Bluetooth keyboard case for the 9.7-inch iPads. So this is compatible with all the iPad Airs, so the first and second generations, as well as the other 9.7-inch iPads. It should also be compatible with the 9.7-inch iPad Pro, but obviously it's going to cover up the smart connector portion. Now, if you subscribe to my channel for some time now, you would have known that I've gone through quite a few iPad keyboard cases, and my favorite of the bunch is the new trend Airbender Star with this 360 rotating hinge. But what really has going for this particular keyboard case is the fact that it's backlit with 3 different lighting modes and 7 different colors. And actually, in my review of my new trend Airbender Star case, I specifically said, moving forward, I would love to see Nutrend come up with a backlit version of this keyboard case. So now I have a backlit Bluetooth keyboard case for my iPad Air 2. But is that enough to win me over my daily use of my Nutrend Airbender Star case? Well, let's find out in this review. So let's first talk about design. This one is in the gold color, which matches perfectly with my gold colored iPad Air 2. It does have a circular cutout for the Apple logo on the back, but unfortunately there's no film covering it, so you can still get it all scratched up and fingerprinted if you tried. There are cutouts for pretty much everything: the camera, the microphone. On the tops is completely exposed, so you can clearly access the headphone jack, the power button, and also on the bottom the speaker grills are unhindered, as well as the charging port, so you can easily charge it, both the case and also your iPad at the same time, no problem. On the very bottom of this, we have 4 little round rubber feet for grip, as well as additional rubber grips on the back near towards the hinge. I would have liked these to be a little bit grippier, but for the most part it's pretty adequate. On the side where you'll also find your charging port for your iPad is the charging port micro USB for the case, and then next to that is the power switch, and that covers everything on the exterior of this case. So opening it up, it's pretty easy. There's even a little cutout to help you open it up. It's not exactly like MacBook Pro simply because the iPad is heavier, but you are also able to sleep and wake it because there's a little magnetic strip built into the bottom chin of the case. So when you close it, it will automatically sleep your iPad, and when you open it up, it will automatically wake it up, which is nice. And the way the hinge mechanism works is friction based, so you can definitely feel the resistance when you open and close it. The keyboard and iPad are held together basically with this protrusion and indentation, as you can see here, so there really isn't any particular locking mechanism as opposed to what you can see here on the Nutrend setup, but it still works pretty adequately. I haven't had an issue with the iPad falling out or anything like that, and because of this design you can actually reverse the iPad and put it in backwards so that you can actually be able to prop it up at an angle like this to show like the other side, or to put it completely flat so you can actually use the iPad more like a tablet but still have the keyboard attached. The cover plate for the iPad is actually really snugly onto my iPad. I found it a little bit difficult to get it off, so this is definitely not a case that you want to be taking on and off. But because of how slim the cover plate is, I really doubt that you would be wanting to take this on and off anyways. So pairing this up via Bluetooth is really simple. You just need to switch on the keyboard with the switch on the side. Go to the Bluetooth settings on your device, find it. It's probably called 4.0 keyboard or something like that. You just need to go ahead and maybe switch on and off your Bluetooth. Sometimes it's a little finicky to try to get it paired the first time, but once you do, it stays paired. So it also stays battery by turning itself off after an inactive period of use. But because of this is able to save the battery life significantly. I found that I only had to charge this maybe every 2 weeks if I had consistently use it every day. If not, this can last for months on end. Once your Bluetooth is properly paired, you want to go to General Keyboard, then Hardware Keyboard, and then make sure that the toggle for use caps lock to change between keyboards is switched off. Otherwise, if you have multiple keyboards like I do, I have a Chinese keyboard as well as even an emoji keyboard setting. Every time I press the caps lock, it's going to switch between those languages as opposed to actually functioning as a caps lock. And speaking of the keyboard, let's go ahead and dive into the features of this thing. So obviously it's not a full-size keyboard, but it is still very nicely spaced out, so I didn't have any problems typing on this at all. Since this is a dedicated iPad keyboard case, it has several special iPad dedicated function keys. So using the function key at the very bottom left corner here and pairing that with the C key, you're able to activate the Bluetooth Connect feature because there's no dedicated Bluetooth Connect button. And then pressing function and the little lock on the opposite corner, you're able to lock and unlock the iPad. And then the top row are the iPad dedicated function keys. We have the home button, brightness options, on-screen keyboard toggle, the search button, and then dedicated copy and paste buttons. However, this has Mac function capability, so actually you can do that cut, copy, and paste using Command X, C, and V. So I think I would have preferred that they had replaced those keys with something else since we can already do that with other keys. But anyways, next to that are some playback controls, forward and back playback, and then also your mute and volume toggles right there. And once again, you have to use the function key with the lock button in order to activate the lock or unlock the screen. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Mac shortcut keys, they're very similar to Windows, except the replacement of the control, you use Command. So for instance, to do select all, you do Command A, and then copy and paste is Command X, C, and then V respectively. The undo is Command Z, and then redo is Command Shift Z. And the last keyboard shortcut is Command Spacebar to bring up the search function. Pressing function spacebar allows you to switch between the keyboards if you didn't have the caps lock selected as I showed previously in the settings. So doing so, you just hold down the function key and then space to switch between the various keyboards that you have programmed in your iPad. And then next to the spacebar, we actually have the brightness control since this is the backlit keyboard. So it has essentially 4 different lighting modes. We have completely off, a little dim lighting, medium lighting, and higher lighting. And next to that is the toggle for different colors. As I said before, it has 7 different colors. It has purple, yellow, white, a darker blue, green, red, and this teal color lighter blue, and then back to purple. Unfortunately, the lighting distribution isn't perfectly uniform. As you can tell, some keys are a little bit brighter than others. Towards the edges, there's some dimmer, but it's not a really big deal. For the most part, it still works very nicely. My only real complaint about this keyboard is how small the right side shift key is. I do notice that some keyboard manufacturers choose to put this particular layout, but I prefer the arrow keys kind of being smushed down to make more space for the space key as seen on the Nutrient Airbender Star case right here. But after a while, you definitely do get used to the shift key smaller placement, and because of how good the key travel and tackiness of this keyboard is, I found that I was able to forgive this feature. For a pretty much all plastic design, the typing experience is surprisingly good. I really do like the key travel and the clicky responsiveness of each key. Drawing on the iPad using this keyboard case also works pretty well. There is a little bit of wobble to be expected, but other than that, because of the angle stiffness, you're able to draw on this with ease. So after transitioning to this keyboard case for my Nutrient one, I have not actually switched back, and that's just because of how well this keyboard just works out. Because of its sturdy build and weight, I'm able to carry with me pretty much everywhere I go. Anytime I need to just sit down randomly, just put it on my lap to start typing, or if I'm at Starbucks to get a little bit of things done, I can do so with just my iPad. The only instance where I would probably recommend the Nutrient over this one is if you really don't need the backlighting, you're looking for a cheaper keyboard case with a sturdier hinge that can rotate and give you more viewing angles, then go with the Nutrient. Otherwise, this one comes in all the different colors to match your iPad, and even for different iPad screen sizes for like the 10.5 inch and also the 12.9 inch iPad Pro. So this backlit iPad keyboard case is a winner in my book. Go ahead and check out the product link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please give it a like, it'd be greatly appreciated, and make sure to subscribe to my channel Skyforce95 if you haven't already to get more content like this. Or if you're watching this on Amazon, head over to my channel URL right here, or just search it up on YouTube Skyforce95. There you'll see a bunch of my product reviews and unboxings. Feel free to browse, or if you want to search for something specific, just hit that search field. That'll do it for this video. This is Skyforce95. Thanks for watching.